And here we are. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. So we are live on Facebook today in the Women Lighting the Way for our second panel. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. Sorry, I'm going to... Oh, that's why. That's what happens. I can hear myself twice, which is really annoying. Just a minute. Oh, that's why. That's what happens. I can hear myself twice. Really annoying. Sorry, go on and talk, ladies. Just a minute. That's it. I can't hear myself twice. Thank you. So hi, everyone. I'm Isaya, and I'm hosting the second panel for our summit speakers today. So, well, welcome, ladies. Your names are showing under your faces, but I'm still going to introduce you. Hi, Beccy. I'm so happy that you're here. So your talk was today, wasn't it?
Yes, it was about 2 hours ago.
Yeah. And Ruth, hello, Ruth. Welcome.
Good morning.
Where are you again? New Mexico?
I'm in New Mexico.
Oh yeah, Beccy, you're in Australia, are you?
Yes. So it's 9 o'clock at night here.
Hi, Joanna from the UK, obviously. Hello. From Scotland, the Highlands, the beautiful Highlands. I was talking this morning about the Highlands and saying I can't wait until they open the UK again. I can come and visit again. Such a beautiful area. Hi, Katie.
Hello.
Where are you calling again?
I'm in the UK as well.
In the UK, okay. And hi, Lo, calling from, where are you? Because you're not where you're supposed to be.
I am not. I am currently in Arizona, visiting family and friends.
And I am actually in Greece, which is not my usual place of residence, but I'm here for a month. And that explains the beach look, because I'm actually living in this gorgeous house by the beach for a month. And, living the dream life of both working and hosting the panels and checking all the summit things and swimming twice daily, which is amazing. So I'm going to go and check in the group if there are comments. No, there's a lot of friends listening to us. Hi, ladies, everyone. Thank you very much. And I suppose we just can go straight in and let me ask you the first question. So I wrote some questions just in case, but I know that once you start talking, there's no stopping you. My first question would be, did you have any fear about the subject of the summit? Because when Kris and I came up with this idea, what we asked of you was, tell us your story. Did it bring out any fear of, I'm going to share things that maybe I don't want to share or something of the sort?
Yes, for me, if any of you watched my talk, yeah, lots of fear. Although I knew what I was going to talk about the minute that I said yes, I was terrified to do it, of course. And it took a little while for me to actually get up the courage. I'm so happy that I did. And it feels like such a safe place here with all of you and with everyone who's been here. It's been beautiful. But yes, it took a little bit of self-talk, talking myself through it.
And what was the positive thing of doing it? What came out of it for you, individually?
The positive thing for me was that not only was I able to tell my story easily after that, I was able to really grow myself and be more confident, have stronger connections, and really, really know where I stand in my spiritual journey and my business journey, and also why I'm here, why I'm shining my light. So I'm so grateful.
Does anyone else feel like answering? Did you have any fears?
I probably did to start with, but I'd already gone into the story and what was meant to be a journaling exercise before that, and that turned into a blog, and then it turned into the introduction of my book. And I went through so many layers of, it felt like almost flower petals that I'd kept in front of myself, and I just showed that more and more of myself. So when you said about the talk, initially I thought, oh no, and then after a while I just got this nudge to do it, and I realized that a lot of what I was sharing was already in that introduction. So I guess this was the first time I was putting my face behind it. So but yes, it's been a blessing, and it's got me to be a bit more confident putting my face behind it rather than just words on a page far away and I don't have to see the reader. So yeah, it's let me shine a bit more.
That's huge. I resonate with that as well. It's very different being a name versus being the persona of you in front of an audience.
Yeah.
So that was interesting because I love teaching and in person, but then when I started getting closer and closer, all these different stories started popping up of, are you sure about this? Why did you choose this topic? Like just everything. And it was such a beautiful growth experience for me. And now, having gone through this, it's really paved a way for such a beautiful and expansive future in the same light.
Katie, do you have any fears?
Yeah, when I said yes to this, when did we start? Was it March? It was quite a long time ago when we said yes to this, wasn't it? Because my
Yeah, that
life
was March.
changed quite a lot. So at the same time, I was also sharing my story, my chapter in a book. So it felt like it made sense to be okay with sharing it in a video and live, talking about it myself when I was putting it to paper anyway. But I was scared because there's some quite personal things in there that I talked about that I don't generally share on my Facebook lives. So this felt a safe place for me to do that.
And Joanna, did you have any fears, or did you just have another version of the story coming out?
No, I don't do fear when it comes to public speaking. I'm one of these really weird people that loves it. So I felt really good. I knew what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about this idea of sliding doors, that this moment in time where you could have easily just taken another route, but you chose a different, you chose this route, but it chose a route that needed courage. And so I was excited to be talking about that because I realized what a huge sliding doors moment, making the decision to move online and bringing all the women together that are inside Divine Planning and Budding Profits and things like that. But actually, I have to be honest, on the day off, like about 5 minutes before I went, I was like, oh, what's that? And I could feel my tummy going, plop, 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 plop. And I thought, oh, I'm a little bit nervous.
Oh my God, we frightened Joanna.
I was like, and then I was like, no, I just like grounded back in, and I was just like, you know what? It'll be what it'll be. It'll be fine. And I just breathed through it. And yeah, so I've never been a person that's sort of nervous public speaking and things like that. And it's always been a bit odd because everyone else feels like it's such a huge thing. But even at school, I loved it.
Joanna, I love that you said it will be what it will be. And as most of you know, when I first started doing lives ever, it was a lot of the people in this group who helped me. And Joanna, you helped me. And I remember hearing, just get over yourself. But I always still, before I go, I say, it'll be what it will be. And, it always is, no matter what. So no use to second guess what you're saying when you go live, especially if you're sharing your heart the way you have, the way everyone has. I know that everyone's talk was just spot on. And we'll speak to different people because we're so different. But
it's been really also a different experience for Joanna than for the rest of us. First of all, you've done 1,000 of them, but also we recorded our speeches, right? Because that was the tech that was planned at the time. So it meant that we could see them again. And for me, the fear was watching myself again, not talking. The talking was all right. But once I had to go into the editing process, I felt, oh my God, I can't, look at this face and blah, blah, blah. And all this judging started. And I had to really take a step back and say, okay, no, if it had been live, it would have been seen already. So forget about, doing it all over again, changing it or making it more perfect, and just leave it like this. But that was the most fearful moment, watching myself again. And
that will be why I requested to do my live.
So that's
the famous one and done.
Yeah, interesting. we're lighting the way into different ways of talking and doing video. You can either face the fear of the live or face the fear of the recorded. So we have a couple of technical specific questions that were asked yesterday. And one of them is, what did you learn about each other and yourselves during the summit process? So during the 6 months that we've been in this, that we've been interacting with each other, did you learn anything about you, about the community, about the groups, about the other speakers?
That we all have fears, I think, and that none of us really 100% sure what we're doing, but with support and encouragement, we'll just give it a go. And yeah.
The bobbing heads mean you agree, ladies?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. The support has been big. I am known to take on the cheerleader role, and I usually own that. And it was really nice not needing to. I was able to receive the cheerleading and also cheerlead with others. And it was just beautiful. We all were able to wear so many hats for each other.
Yeah, I'm normally the organizer and the driver, and it was really nice to actually be in the passenger seat for a bit. It was, yeah, really enjoyable. Even if you did go a bit too fast sometimes, it was a bit scary. We're going that way. Oh my God. Okay, seatbelt on. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having a look at other questions. Oh, Christy's saying that she's excited to hear us. So here we go. Somebody asked yesterday, how did you all know what to talk about? And how did your willingness to be vulnerable evolve through the summit process? So how did you choose your subject? We had a general hat under which we hoped that everyone would go, which would be how the stories of our lives, but also how we tell them, the way we recreate the story every time we tell it, how this helped or defined our life, but also our businesses, since we're all businesswomen, and we're lighting the way for others to follow. So how did this evolve all through the summit process, which, yeah, took roughly 6 months? And how did you choose it? Which parts did you choose? And,
I can speak to that for myself. I wanted to do the summit from the moment that it was out there and presented. And I knew in my heart that that was what I wanted to do. The subject eluded me a little bit, and we wanted to talk about our journey and what brought us to where we are, so that we can show up and so we can be women lighting the way. And I thought, my story is so long. How do you go into an entire life and find those parts? So on the day of, when I was getting ready to speak, I had notes all around my computer. All around. So picture sticky notes all the way around. And I had this plan. So I started to do that. And something just said, stop. It was spirit just said, stop doing that. I took all the sticky notes off, took a deep breath. And I just said, whatever needs to be said, say it through me. That's exactly what happened with my talk. I don't know that I sat down and planned what I said. And later, I second guessed it a lot because, as I told Joanna in our interview, it was some pretty heavy stuff, but my message wasn't heavy. It was about joy. It was about the joy of being here. And that really is how I got here today. So I had to let it go. I had to trust and had to know I was comfortable, safe with all of you and with everyone out there.
Awesome.
I love that. It reminds me of Brene Brown. She talked about when she was collecting data on different things, and people would, she collected data on joy. People would give her the contrast of it.
Yes.
And I think, this is one of the things that we really sort of need to appreciate in a way, is the contrast is sometimes what puts the joy into context, or puts the goodness into context. you know, and we forget sometimes that our hard times in life serve us as well as the good times.
Yeah,
That makes
for me,
sense.
Ruth, your talk was exactly like that. Like when I started listening to it, it was like, oh my God, this is going to be really a bummer. And then I thought, but I can't feel any heaviness. She's talking about heavy stuff, but I can't feel heaviness. And the more you were talking, and the more I could feel, you know, my heart uplifting. And it was really interesting. This, you know, I was kind of, oh my God, this is going to be sad. And then I thought, but Ruth doesn't have a sad story. I can't, you know, I can't feel any sadness or heaviness in there. So it's really.
I'm so glad to know that, because yeah, I didn't feel sad while I was telling it. It's just the truth. And I thought, why would I cover that up? My son asked me when he was little, so he was born after all of that. And he was 5, and he looked at me one day and he said, why are you always so happy?
Wow, for a 5-year-old to say that. Yeah.
He didn't want that. He just thought, how can you be so happy? And I told him a little bit about contrast, about, you know, how beautiful it was for me. I think we were at the grocery store. And to me, going to the grocery store is a beautiful thing. And a lot of things in life that are simple are now so beautiful based on my story. So it is the contrast.
Awesome. Yeah. Beautiful. Anyone else want to talk about feeling the vulnerability of, you know, talking about our maybe not so glamorous moments? I know that when I started thinking about what I was going to talk about, I thought, okay, I could go the safe way and talk about stuff that I've already talked about, or that are kind of a little difficult, but not that. And then I thought, no, I really need to go into the place that is the heavy, but the sliding door moment, basically. So, and if I try to avoid that, then my talk is going to be some kind of nice and fluffy, you know, rags to riches fake story. And I can't, I was kind of really in this hesitation state. And then I thought, I can't do that to you ladies. Because if I'm not going into the raw, vulnerable thing part of it, how can I ask of you to do that? And since I was in the organizing seat, it was like, okay, I have to go there.
Yeah, you have to light the way for us.
Yeah, exactly.
You're lighting the way. Yeah.
And it wasn't very comfortable to start with, you know, to dare to do that. But I think it's, I'm really happy that this talk is existing, and as a piece of content, I think I'm going to use it over and over again as a reference in my head, you know, that I was bold enough and true enough to do that, and to talk about this moment in my life where basically everything collapsed and I was able to reconstruct myself from the deep shit I was in, basically. And the lies that I've been living through. So yeah, for me, that was really important to be as vulnerable as I was asking each and every one of you to be.
It was a huge pivotal moment in my own business growth, not for this summit, but before, you know, I used to think if people knew that I was a coach that had burnt out, that they probably wouldn't want to work with me. And I had a lot of shame around burning out. I was like, who does that? Who drives themselves to the point where they're like nearly dead? You know, and there was so much, and there was such liberation in owning that story, in really just, you know, taking full ownership of it. And yes, it was like, yes, I did that. But in owning it, the story itself flipped. And I realized that, and it's something that Skylar and my spirit team say, either you own the story or the story owns you.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, in before, the story used to own me. So it was a shameful story. It was like, my God, who does that? And who's so crazy to work like that? And then, you know, when I owned the story and began sharing it, I took ownership of it and it flipped. And then I realized, you know, that this was actually some of my strength. And so many women who are in my world now, in my communities, they so resonate with burnout because they've been there too, or they've been just on the brink of it. And so I feel like, you know, it's so funny when we are vulnerable, we're so afraid of the shame. Maybe we're still carrying guilt about some of our stories.
Yeah, I know I was.
That ownership.
I know I was. I know that part of the story of being, you know, of having believed in the lies that I was telling myself and that my husband was telling me, and being this naive, stupid person. It was like there's a lot of shame, obviously. And, you know, I was really touched by Sarah's talk about shame yesterday. And deciding that I was going to share that, you know, and share this, I'm not really proud of me for that, you know. What kind of person is stupid enough to not see that her husband is an alcoholic? So basically, it's like, oh my God, you know. And the reactions I got after my talk, my talk was the opening talk, and I was really impressed at how many reactions I got from all over the place, with people saying, A, I relate, B, we're so happy that you're a real human being and not this happy person, you know, kind of, you know, there's, and it's, for me, that was really, like you were saying, I feel that there's a shift that, you know, I kind of, this is going to change my business. So, but also the way I see myself. And I'm really, really grateful for the summit as an entity to have provided this opportunity for me, even if I was part of the organizing committee. It's like, you know, we sometimes create the opportunities for ourselves. And I feel like this summit has now taken, has a personality of its own, and it's doing things, you know, and it did that for me. And so, yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
You're giving other women permission to be human as well, aren't you? And Joanna, that was why I came to you as a coach, because you'd gone to that place. So you would spot the warning signals, and you'd be able to say, spot it and actually help me not go there. And you'd been there and thought, no, I don't want that. Whereas others, I kind of get the hint, hustle, 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 you have to do this. And you've gone there and chosen the other way. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I think that we relate to human beings and to their being human. And the fact, indeed, me too, Joanna, I can be a witness as well that, you know, and part of what we do in the power hours, which are these weekly meetings that we hold and discuss together, where the summit was kind of born, is just, you know, be truthful, be ourselves, and bear witness that the rest of us is just as human as we are, and that we can still discuss with source and have downloads and have the whole connection with the goddesses, but still we, you know, this double level, like I'm both talking to the stars and both talking to my fellow humans, and I belong to both worlds. And I think it's the case for each and every one of us, not only us in the summit, but us on the planet. And it's just and the more human I believe, that's my conviction. When you're tired of listening to me, just talk. So
not at all. I'm seeing Ruth has a question, or Ruby has a question.
Yeah, I just wrote it down, just finish that. I believe that the more human we are, the more we can connect with the divine.
Can I add something quickly? Something you said and something Joanna touched on, that if we are going to light the way, if that is our calling, we have to be bold and true.
Yeah.
And that just struck me in this moment. And I thought, oh, okay, that explains a lot.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So yeah, we have a couple of questions from various sources. So if we talk now about you as a spectator or as a listener, what did you take away from the other people, from the other talks, not yours, but the other ones? That's Ruby asking the question.
I think seeing all the different flavors of people that are still helping. It's like, I guess before I was thinking that I didn't realize that there's one way to do it. But now I see it more like when you go to an ice cream shop, that they don't just have vanilla all the time or just chocolate, that there's all those flavors, because every person going in will want someone and maybe want a combination. So that was sort of really reassuring that there's something for everyone here. And we don't have to be the same, and it's just not useful to be that way. So yeah, it was Joanna's phrase as well, how many billion people there are in the world, and that there's going to be people that need your particular flavor. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just how talented you all are, and what you've all been through to be here today. You know, like it takes courage, right? It takes courage to be online, it takes courage to put yourself out there, it takes courage to do the live streams, to do all the things, right? To be a woman lighting the way, it takes courage. And just seeing like all of the you know, it's that sliding doors moment again. And that's what I knew I needed to talk about that, because for me, it's like, how easy would it be for some of you to be like, nah, I'm just going to set this one out and Netflix my life away. But instead you stepped up and you know, being through so many different things and the stories that we've heard from each other, you know, it's powerful and impactful. And I think if anyone has gone through something similar, I hope that this sparks like that fuel for the fire inside and thinks, oh, I can maybe put myself out there. I can maybe do something amazing too.
That's one of the reasons why we wanted to do these panels also, because the talks being recorded and even you being this amazing live going person, there's kind of this curated version. So here, the attendees can see us just as we are, and with the back, how do you say, behind the scenes thing that, you know, yeah, it took 6 months to get us here. It took 6 months, and 6 months were made of highs and lows and hesitations and questioning and changing our minds and doing it another way, and then people saying, no, I don't want to be in the summit. And for some of you, I know that either Kris or I had to reach out a second time or a third time saying, hey, we really want you to be in there. But it was like, oh, no, I'll sit this one out. I'm all right. I don't know what to talk about. I remember even saying to one of you, I don't remember who it was, saying, we don't care what you talk about. We just want you to talk. And, you know, and you'll find what you talk about.
I think what I learned from everybody was that, oh my gosh, I have never been in another group anywhere in my life, I have to say, where everybody here is so supportive and loving. I learned so much about myself, about self-love, but also I've never been in a group of women this large where everybody supported one another, always came to each other with love, no matter what was going on and no matter how small an issue. You know, I never got the feeling that I was too small to speak, that I was left out, that I was rejected ever. And I think that's something that we're creating a new paradigm, all of us together. It's new, it's different, it's not what we've learned. So, oh my gosh, just so powerful.
Absolutely. And we're going to, I'm going to say that, you know, I think that it's the impulse of Joanna's community that can host that.
Yes.
Because I am in various groups on Facebook and various communities, and I bought several online business courses, and there's no community like this one. There are similar communities, but I've made friends online. I've not made friends like these. And so, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Joanna, for creating the hat under which we can hide. And
you're gonna make me cry.
But also, just so we acknowledge everyone, I think it's also a testament to each and every one of us. You know, and we have, you know, because Joanna could pick and choose her clients, and so the community could be awesome. But we still created the container for us, for these 12 people, to create this amazing summit. So yeah, each and every one of us has got the magic as well.
Absolutely. And I think also as well, it's like, it's setting that standard, isn't it, for how you want the space to be. And I think we can all do that in our homes, in our communities that we're building, and really, you know, being true to that. And Ruth is absolutely right. You know, I'm here to birth a new paradigm, and that's what you guys are here for. You know, we women, we have such a power in the world right now that, you know, and such a duty to that power right now to make sure that we show up in emotional intelligence, that we, you know, that gone are the days where the bitching and those sort of things, right? Because that just does all women a disservice. And that we can show up and in community and in cooperation, and, you know, the way Kris and Isaya has organized this, and it's so beautiful. I mean, it's just been amazing to witness.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me see if we have other types of question. Somebody says, do you feel a new power in holding your story? So is there something like, you know, because we were saying at the beginning that for some of us, it was the first time we actually shared some bits of our story, as in publicly. So do you feel more steady with that or less?
I feel more steady with it, because I realize as well the power of hearing each of your stories that connected with me, the bits that I didn't know about. They were the powerful parts, not what we deliver at the end of it and what we can do with that, but just the fact that you all did that we all see how much we've got in common, and how that then, you know, that ripples out to the readers, the listeners, the watchers, people who connect with our stories. So I'm going to be more open about the deep stuff moving forwards after this.
That's how I feel as well. I realized my talk took a different route, and it was less about me and it was more about encouragement in that cheerleader role. And walking through and listening to all of you speak and how pure and honest and open you were is really, it's lighting the way for me, and it's encouraging me that and showing me that I am ready to speak my truth and deeper parts of that. And so I was very surface level. I mean, it was still me, but it wasn't like my individualized path. It was more of my global path, and how basically I'm ready to just be who I am and shout that from the mountaintops. So thank you all for holding this space.
Awesome. You know, if that's what we do, isn't it? You know, for each other, you know, and then for the rest of the world, as we were saying, you know, women lighting the way. That's Kris came out with a name, and then out of the name, everything was born. I think, you know, it's really one of those ideas that came. She came up with this name, and she created a Facebook group, and I thought, oh, this is a name for a summit. This is a name for a summit. This is what we do, right? And so it's literally, it's very touching for me to imagine that it all came from a verb, you know, from a sentence. It was literally like I remember Joanna teaching that the spelling and the words are magic. For me, she created the name before the idea was even born. So it's like crazy. And it is literally what you're talking about, Lo, is that I think we've been doing that for each other during the last 6 months, and now we can shine the light for the rest of the attendees and for the rest of the people. And just so you know, there might be other Women Lighting the Way summits, so you can now consider yourselves alumni, and you can come and talk again to the next generation of lighters, of women lighting the way. Does anyone want to say anything specific, or do I go on with the questions?
I could add something, and this just struck me because, you know, in the days leading up to Women Lighting the Way Summit, I decided to go on live every day. It was about 10 days. I think that getting my story out was so essential. It feels like it was the birth canal. And so after birthing, a different me through telling my story, which was my deepest, darkest thing that nobody knew. I don't know very many people who know that story in my present life. I don't know if they do. But I noticed that this week after I did that, I showed up in my baseball getup, and I told everybody about my son not showing up to his baseball game. I took everybody to my weaving studio. I feel like I can show up and be so much more authentic after telling my story and having that ability to do so. It just makes everything seem more real. I don't know if that makes sense, but it even makes it makes me able to show up and be more genuine now and have a lot more fun with connecting.
It's interesting because you're answering the question that I didn't even have time to ask, so that's good. The official question was, do you think this experience has affected your mission and your way to speak? So yes, it has, obviously, for Ruth. Anyone else feels that it changed something?
Hearing me saying the words and seeing me saying it took it to a whole nother level of owning it, I think, rather than just it being black and white text in a book. So it wasn't exactly the same what I said, but yeah, it was just more of me in there and more expansion. And yes, it was expansion, that feels like, and strength within it, and ownership and all that stuff.
Empowerment?
Yeah, probably. It was funny that normally I just naturally keep things quite quick. And so if I do videos or any courses, anything like that, I generally keep the videos quite short so people can just nip in and out. And when you said to talk for 40 minutes, I thought, yes, it was quite interesting that after about 5 or 10 minutes, I thought, right, I'm done. What should I do with the rest of it? And then I just sat and, what do you want me to say? And stayed in that energy, and things came through. But I know for others, they could happily talk for 1 hour. So
it's been really interesting, this conversation about the time, the length of the talks. I've had conversation with some of you saying, I can't do more than 10 minutes. Others, I can't do less than an hour. It was like all over the place. And so, but I think it's been really a teaching moment to myself. How can I actually do the 40 minutes and not more, not less, like the restraint of the container. I learned that it's good for me too. So, and I believe that it was good for you as well, to kind of push you to do something that might not be in your comfort zone, either longer or shorter. Ruby said she had to cut more than an hour out of her talk. So she was listening to music and really cool, wasn't she, in her talk? So she was happy in there. Oh, sorry, what happened? My Zoom just jumped. Yeah, so what else do we have? Do you have one word? Sorry, go on.
Oh, I can touch on that as well. So I spoke on mourning, and that was what was really present in my world at the time. And so that's what I jumped in and spoke on. And my roots have always been around parenting. And then through this talk and my journey since, it's bringing me back around to wanting to help parents and help them welcome in the next generation that is often more spiritual and more grounded than they are, and helping them bridge that gap. And so it's been interesting where I thought I was taking a detour. It really just brought me right back around to where I needed to be. And it's been beautiful to watch that.
Awesome. That's interesting how we kind of don't know what we know until we start working, unfolding it and talking about it on a summit or something creates opens up the road. And I think it's a certain Joanna Hunter who says the road grows you, isn't she? Sometimes I have your voice, Joanna, quoting things in my head.
Yeah.
And when I say sometimes, I should say daily.
I even have a series of her quotes in that I wrote out and laminated, and I pick one out to have on my desk.
Laminated. Wow, that's real
Like,
fandom here.
That's
Yeah.
next level, Beccy. We do love a bit of lamination.
so today I had what's the most loving thing I can do for myself now? And yesterday it was, how can this be easy? When I was revamping my website a bit, how can this be easy? And I kept coming to that, and it was right next to me. Yeah, just that'll do. That's good enough. Yeah.
Like we were saying.
Done is better than perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So anyone wants to add something general, or shall I go with the next question? We have, is there one word to sum up your experience in the summit?
Stretch.
What? Stretch. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My English.
Stretch.
I understand
Stretch.
No, thank you.
Oh, like that.
Growth.
What was yours, Katie?
Growth.
Growth. Okay.
I'm not sure I have one.
I would say enlightening.
I think mine is shine.
Mm.
Shine. And what I'm picturing is how the moon looks, and it shines. And it's busy just doing what it is. It's being what it is. But the reflection is life-changing.
Mm.
I think for me, it's going to have to be confidence, because my experience in the summit has grown my self-confidence quite a lot, as in I wouldn't trust myself to hold the space for something so big and with so many of you that I think are so awesome, basically, that I look up to sometimes. And the fact that I was able to organize this and hold the space for it, both on the tech aspects, but also some mindset and some behind the scenes energetic holding the space for it to happen, it has really boosted my self-confidence of how, and all through what I was talking earlier on about the vulnerability of actually sharing my story. Which brings me to another word that will come, which is gratefulness to Mrs. Kris Wallace for throwing this idea in the air, and for being this crazy person that goes with could be fun as a basic rule of life. So it's like, she says, hey, it could be fun doing a summit, could be fun inviting Joanna Hunter, could be fun. And then I kind of jump on it, and then I keep her accountable. That's what I do. But she comes with the crazy ideas that, she said, oh, we'll have minimum of 1,000 attendees. And I thought, are you crazy? But she's got this ability to dream big that I sometimes forget about. And so I'm really grateful to her. So thank you, Kris.
Yeah.
That's my word, gratitude
Oh.
for so much. Gratitude to be asked to speak at the summit, gratitude for all the women in the summit, gratitude at the generosity of the summit. For somebody who started out online business world with no money to build an online business, that's something that I've always tried to instill in my business, is generosity and gratitude. And generosity, being generous with it, because there was a time in my life, I want to honor that time in my life where I couldn't afford. And the fact that this is so generous, there's so many incredible freebies and things with this. It really truly is amazing. But gratitude for who I get to walk alongside in my daily life. It's badass.
Agreed.
I'm just looking at some of the comments from our viewers, and Luna is asking, I think you just kind of answered it.
Yeah.
Could you say something about women who do not have money, funds, or energy? Where can I go?
I think if Luna, if you're listening to this, follow every woman on the summit. go and stalk their, like if they've got a website, go check their website. I'm sure there is an amazing freebie waiting for you there to be able to get on their mailing list and get. There is so many resources, but just plugging in and tapping into this network of women, it will expand your consciousness and it will expand your like outlook on life. Many of the women that have joined me in Divine Planning did so on welfare and now no longer are on welfare. So just trust that it will come and just keep plugging into energy that expands you, you know, like keep showing up for the free stuff. Keep, like, if most of the ladies here are doing free master classes and things as well, so keep plugging into that.
Absolutely. And I would like to be a witness for and a testimonial for the free content that is put out by members of this community, first and foremost by Joanna, but the rest of us as well. The free content is crazy badass. There is so much in there. It is not a joke, you know, and sometimes you might feel that in some freebies there's kind of a cheat thingy, but never with the people of this community. I've been literally floored by the quality of the free content. And Luna, I insist, you do not need money to make money on the internet. You need time, and you need to follow and be in the right energy and follow the right people. And these people are the right people.
100%, 100%. And it's just, I mean, my gratitude at the generosity of you ladies and what you've put together here. And I mean, considering that this whole, all the replays are free,
yeah,
you know, really take your time to plug into this. And if anyone else is in the same situation as Lena, know that you're not alone.
Well,
I know that I can speak for Katie, Carey,
me-
as well as I say this, and Isaya, that we've been there, right? And there's other people in this community that have been in the same boat. It does get better. You just got to hold that faith.
yeah.
And plug into the free content of all the women here. It will grow you, it will expand you, and you got to have that faith that things will change and shift for you.
And Luna is answering. Thank you for answering my question. It was not easy to ask it. And I would like to address that too, because that's the whole vibration here. And that's the whole message, is that whole being bold and being true. So boldly asking what you're afraid to ask, boldly speaking what you're afraid to say. If it's in your truth, that will always lead the way. It will always give you a path.
And for me, I found having this community, having even just, I don't know whether Luna, there's someone else in the group who's watching, who might be your accountability buddy, and you can just encourage each other, just having someone else walking the path with you. Because if you're only watching people online and they seem to be so shiny and polished, you somehow think you have to be a different person to get there. But if you can have some kind of community, even just one other person that you can say, okay, I'm scared, but I'm going to try and do this week. Did you do it? And watching that free contact together.
This is exactly why we wanted to do the summit, basically. It's because we wanted to show that our stories are not glamorous. Our stories are not one of those Instagram polished, you know, posh little 15-year-old and you know, all how do you say, photoshopped stories that, and since, despite that, or thanks to that, whatever, they are success stories. And so everyone can be a success story. And indeed with the right community.
Yeah. Yeah, with support and just trusting yourself and receiving and using what, there's a brilliant phrase that I hadn't used till recently. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
Yeah.
Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
Yeah. And find friends to do it with.
Yes.
So much more fun. So much more fun.
Yeah.
And that is one of the key things for me, is the instant I decided that my life was not going to be difficult, the instant that I decided that my life was not going to be boring, that my life was not going to be painful and heavy, but it was going to be fun, and I was going to do whatever was possible and whatever I could do to make it fun now, not someday, now, even through the biggest crap I was going through. That is what changed for me. And that's another question that was asked yesterday. I think it's, could you elaborate, except for Joanna, because you did already, thank you, elaborate on the precise moment or the decision. What was the decision or the sliding door moment? Whether in your life or to go into the summit, whatever, you know. Sorry, I'm having a look. Oh, there's a lot of people talking here. Sorry, I'm going to have to read the comments. So if one of you wants to jump in and talk about the decision moment.
I think for me, it was probably deciding that I was just going to give myself space and I was just going to sit and be with my feelings. So I resigned from my work and I didn't have something else planned. I just thought, I'm going to see what happens. And I started going for walks and just sitting and touching the edge of what I'd been avoiding and just feeling. And then the idea came, I'll write it down. I'll take a photo of where I am. And I just kept doing that. And then the idea came, I'll put it in a blog. And then the idea came, oh, maybe I'll put it on a book so I can read it. And then the idea came, and just little steps, put it in a book and make it available. But that first step of, I'm going to stop running. I'm just going to sit and listen.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was the bravest thing I've ever done. I've traveled the world by myself. I've dived with sharks. I've scuba dived. I've bungee jumped. I've traveled through Asia by myself. But just sitting and stopping and listening to myself, loving myself was, whew, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel you, Beccy. I think that is so much more frightening to stop and assess and ponder and look at your crap, basically, than just run forward into some kind of distraction, even the fun distractions.
Yeah, but also getting support, because quite often when there's a big feelings, we can get lost in them and it can be hard to see it. It's like being in the tornado and you don't know that there's anything else. So asking for help is also a key thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge. Asking for help. I talk a lot in my communities about poor little me, like poor little me stories, right? And we get so trapped in them. And my favorite one was poor little me, I have to do it all by myself. But when I actually looked to deconstruct that story, I realized that I didn't ask for help, like, ever. So how could it be? How did I? Of course I had to do it all myself. Never asked for help, you know? And so sometimes just asking for help, you know, and it doesn't make you less of a person. I think we've been taught in society that if we ask for help, somehow we're weak. I actually think it takes a lot of strength to ask for help. A lot of courage.
Yeah.
That's what popped in my mind when the question was asked from Luna. What came to me was, it's not brave doing it on your own. It's brave asking for help and support when you need it.
Absolutely.
And if you don't get a yes, then ask someone else. And if they can't, for whatever reason, it's probably nothing personal, ask someone else. And there will be someone who can, or maybe they can't help in that moment, but they will be able to later. So.
Yeah, that's the power of this group, for instance, you know, when I say this group, I mean this community more than the summit, the community of Joanna's Divine Planning Abundant Profits, which we are all members of. You know, it's like there's always going to be someone that is there to help you, and finding a community, and whether it's a free community or a paying community, but even in the free communities that we all hold, there are spaces for support and accountability and love, basically. Sorry, I'm going to check another question. Yes, how did your business grow or evolve during the prepping of the summit? So did anything, you know, did the summit itself push your business in some direction?
I think oh, go ahead.
It made me brave enough to go and launch the publishing house. Because I'd said yes to this. It was just another step. and yeah, I just felt brave and bold. Yeah, that was it.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
And I did that from
Congratulations.
zero money when I had to invest $3,000 into something, and I figured it out.
Awesome.
So things can, evolve from nothing, from an idea just like this.
Oh, I feel so proud now. I didn't know that. Thank you. Not proud, but happy that, that this triggered that, I know for some of us, or some of you, or even myself, it made us rethink our freebies, or rethink our email providers, or rethink our landing pages, because we felt that we had to be ready, summit ready, kind of, and some of us went in there and checked their websites or changed their offers, and it's been interesting because it touches. Feeling summit ready touches, or seems to have touched in some of you, all the bits and pieces, all the Lego parts of our businesses, kind of, and
I guess for me,
go on.
For the probably from the outside, it looked like my business went backwards because I do a lot of in-person therapy work and hands-on. It's my table behind me, and we went into where I live into a strict lockdown fairly early on. So all of the outside, the external business just stopped, and it was interesting that then became a time for me to, in hindsight, and now get to know myself at a deeper level and in another way, and learn more about being human and develop more tools and skills so that when lockdown does come out, I've got even more to help people. So it's sort of the growth has happened on the inside, and from the outside, it looked like it stopped. But through this, it's also helped me to connect with and think what really is important, what's really useful for people. And so that it expands outwards again. And that just to honor that time, that even the yin time is also valid, not the external yang, I'm doing all this, look at me, but that yin time is also growth and also
and that's
powerful.
why my
and
question
often
was not only growth, it was about evolution of the business, and evolution means also kind of deciding in which direction to go for. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats. Anyone else wants to answer that? So there's also a question for you, Joanna, specifically for you, but let me find it. Poof, poof, poof. Sorry, I've lost it now.
Racing myself. Only joking.
Sorry. So let me find it again. Oh gosh, so many questions and then so many other comments in the middle. Sorry, I'm not really good at this. Joanna, there it is. How has this event affected your year, your big year in business? If it has.
This year has been amazing for me. So when Isaya asked the question, how are things changed in the last 6 months? Well, in the last 6 months, my business has taken over $500,000 online, which is like, what? So that's been crazy. I think for me, the biggest shifts are internal, in that just seeing how powerful the work is, that you know, sometimes you're in the thick of things, right? Like, and so you're in the thick of it and you're just doing it. And I was running my live divine plannings and I was doing all my things and I was just kind of like in the thick of it. And I suppose in a way that this has sort of got me to take my head out of the grass a little bit, you know, and like take a wee look around, and I just realized like how much impact the work has made, but not only just to you ladies who are in the community, but like the people that you're affecting as well, right? Like it's like this huge ripple effect. And I think more than anything, it's just added, like, I had plenty of fuel for the fire before, but now I've got like rocket fuel on there because I just think that, wow, like legit, wow, you know, this work needs to get out further. This work needs to reach more people. and the people who are in my communities, just how that's like, it's that, you know, I always call it my sneaky agenda, which is to raise the vibration of the planet. And I really felt like this summit is like, yeah, we're doing it. Like, we're actually raising the vibration of the planet. That's what it, like, it was that feeling of like, yeah, this is what I signed up for. Like, this is what I wanted, to raise the vibration of the planet. And just, you know, to sum up the summit in one word, gratitude, because it is, you know, just seeing how generous everyone was with their freebies, seeing how professional they were and beautifully put together, and how unique they were. I mean, I loved going through, there was a PDF that I added like an angel numbers thing to, and just seeing how, like, seeing everybody's different style all together on this one PDF, like I loved it. It was so amazing.
Thank you for mentioning that. I completely forgot to mention that. Let me go back to some promo thingy. So ladies who are watching this, whether live on the replay in the group, if you sign up to the summit, you are going to have the replays for another week, and you will get, as a special gift, we decided to gift it to everyone, this incredible PDF that is a 16-page PDF that has one page from each of the summit speakers, and each of them is so amazingly different and so amazingly chock full of information, fun, inspiration, wisdom. I loved, you know, creating the container for that. And then when I saw the pages arriving, it was like every page is a whole new world, and you can, you know, jump into another speaker's universe just by watching this page and getting to kind of know them. It's amazing how this PDF is. And first we were only going to gift it to for people who referred other people to the summit. But then we discussed it with Kris, and we thought, oh no, this has to be spread widely in the world. So if you want it, you have to go and become an official attendee. And as far as the speakers are concerned, don't forget to download it, because it's awesome. You'll see all the other pages, because I'm not sure that everyone has it. So yeah.
Isaya, Kris just commented, I feel like Joanna should have the PDF on her refrigerator, like her schoolwork. So yeah. You must be proud, right?
I am so proud. Like, I was saying to somebody the other day, I'm like literally clucking so much I'm in danger of laying eggs, you know, like it's, I'm like a big mother hen that's like so proud of her chicks, you know. It's just amazing. I mean, I just think, and you know, I see people at all different stages of business. Some people have been going for a while. Some people are like, divine planning is their first investment in their business ever, and then they've, you know, like they've got nothing, they're like growing it from scratch, you know. And it's so beautiful just to see, you know, like how much all of you have grown, how much all of you have, and just seeing that PDF, what I loved is, for me, it reframes, like I've always had this statement, there's plenty for everyone in the world, right? We live on a planet of 7.9 billion people. There's plenty for everyone. And just seeing that PDF and how different everybody, like it was a one-page PDF, right? Like, and it's so different. Like everybody's page is so completely different to the next page. The branding, the look, all of it. And that just, it's just, yeah, it just reinforces that there is, that, you know, there is anyone listening to the summit, you know, like some people may have really resonated with you, and some people may not, but that's okay. But like the people who really resonate with you, those that go follow them, like really plug in there, right? And that we live in a world where everyone can be awesome. We don't just, you know, there doesn't have to be one best. Everyone can be awesome.
Absolutely. This PDF did the exact same thing to me. It was like, oh my God. And, you know, I came up with this idea, and then I thought, this is going to be really difficult. I was kind of figuring that everything was going to look the same. because I was planning for all the speakers to send me their info and for me to put it on a page, and then it would have been my branding, my taste, and then I thought, no, I have to open it up. And so we found the tech to be able to have each speaker create their own page, and that was awesome. I'm so happy with that. It was, but it's among the things that came along the way. And I must say, the very famous "The Road Grows You" for this summit, for Kris and I, it has been an everyday learning curve of, okay, we could do this. How do we do it? We could do that. Oh, wait, I have no clue how this works. The summit platform, oh my God, first time ever. I have to be honest, I bought the summit platform 3 years ago. So I was dreaming of creating a summit in 2018. And in 2019, I found this software or platform for summits. And I thought, yeah, I want this. I didn't have any idea who I could create a summit with, right? I was not a member of the PAP community. I didn't know any of you. It was like, I would love to do a summit that it calls to me, it has my name on it. And I've had this software for 3 years. And when Kris said, hey, I created this group, and I thought, this is a summit. I have the software, let's go. I had the software, but owning something does not mean you know how it works. I can tell you, it has been a freaking learning curve for everything. And it's been amazing to learn everything on the way, and to learn to interact with each and every one of you, and hold your hand, reassure you, push you. I'm the bunny slipper person, right? So I'm the butt kicking person. So Kris is the cheerleader, and I'm so it was really also fascinating to see how we could collaborate with Kris, how we are so different, but how it is, I think it's mainly us trusting that our intuitions and going with, yeah, we're going to do that, and we're going to do it Joanna style. So we're going to trust that this is a good idea, and that we'll find the answers along the way. And I'm fully aware that I would never have done anything of the sort if I'd not met Joanna Hunter first. That I would have freaked out completely on not knowing what to do, and this is never going to happen. I need to hire some tech person to help me out, or some VA, and I would never have trusted myself, or Kris for that matter, to do it. So
I have a question for you, Isaya. My question is, how has this grown you in your leadership? Because you've had to really step up into your leadership here, and so has Kris. I can't ask Kris right now, but if she wants to answer in the comments, that would be awesome. But how have you felt this has grown you in your leadership?
A lot, because I think I was hiding a lot behind the group thing. And then for a long time, even after we started creating the summit and organizing and everything, it was like, we are doing this summit. And then I think it was Christy who said, Kris and Isaya are organizing this summit. And she wrote this, and I thought, no, not. It's everybody. And then I thought, yeah, no, she's right. We are. It's just Kris and me doing the organizing parts. Doesn't mean that you didn't do anything, obviously, ladies, but it was just like, oh, maybe I should own that. And it was really fascinating to see myself. Oh, Kris wants to come in and answer the question. Can I let her in?
Oh, I'd love to have Kris answer the question as well.
So here she comes. Hello. Rude o'clock, is it? Yeah, so it's been awesome, basically. And for me, it has grown me as a trusting that I can be this bunny slipper person, and people won't hate me for it. Because that was my core belief, was if I own that I'm the leader, people are going to hate me. I'm going to be the boss. People are going to hate me.
Interesting.
So I am now owning that I can be a boss that people love. I can
Yes.
have slippers,
I
kick
love
butt,
that.
and people will love me. So yeah, a lot. Thank you for the question, Joanna. So
You don't
Kris,
mind that I'm crashing your
no,
panel, do
otherwise
you?
I wouldn't,
No,
wouldn't have let you
jump
in. Welcome.
I thought it looked like you were having too much fun. I had to join it.
I resisted yours yesterday. Anyway,
I don't think we've got enough snacks. Sorry. I don't think we've got enough snacks for more people. I only planned for 6.
I brought my own.
Do you want to
Thank
answer
you
Joanna's
so
question?
much. Thank you so much for you guys for your trust and for your sense of adventure. I mean, it's really funny when we're talking about, ooh, this will be fun. And then it's like, okay, bare your soul.
Cry on camera. Yeah.
Yes. My leadership skills, I don't know. It's brought up, it's tapped into my mom energy, because I have found, of course, that positive reinforcement and support is the best way, I think, to lead. And
Yeah, but you could do that because I was the bunny slipping person.
right, exactly.
Good cup, bad cup, didn't we?
I think it turned into that, like I would do the weekly emails and congratulate everyone on all the little steps that we were taking, and just the planning. It was such a perfect collaboration, and it's so weird, isn't it? It's like, oh, well, how could I have known?
Just so you know, we didn't know each other at all before that.
Right.
You were there in my in the rest of the world, but we were not friends. We've never met. We've never met in real life, and we didn't know each other as in, it was the first time ever we worked together or did anything of the sort together. So it was like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was fully intuitive. Yeah, let's do this.
I remember being a little freaked out.
I think it's you, Ruth, who says if it's not hell yes, it's a no. It's been a hell yes all the way.
Yes.
With Kris. So
I don't remember exactly. I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it to Lo or something, but Isaya was right there. Like, oh yeah. Oh, like she had just been waiting quietly for somebody else to, I don't know, to speak it, to invite, to grab onto that idea. And oh yeah, you were there right away. And I thought, oh my gosh, can I do this? Who is this Isaya person? She's in France. How is this supposed to work? And it was just perfect from the start. It really was. It just felt like such the right partnership energy.
There's also that, you see, Joanna, your question. What it's also taught me is that I can be a leader, but I can also be a co-leader, which I would never have believed before. I would always have gone with I'm a lone ranger. If I have even hiring someone in my business is going to be a problem because I have to do it all by myself.
Right.
You hear the poor little me story there. So it has also taught me that I know I can co-create something with someone that I barely know, and that but with whom I feel the intuitive call to do something, and it can work. So I don't have to do everything by myself. So yeah,
and the whole time I didn't feel like I was doing much at all. And we both had this kind of, well, you're doing all this and you're doing, but that it was supposed to be easy, right?
Yeah.
I think
if it wasn't going to be easy, we weren't going to be doing it.
Or it didn't feel like a struggle. Yeah. We weren't paddling upstream. We were paddling downstream the entire time. And as much as sometimes we got a little worried, like, oh, nobody's doing this, and oh, I haven't heard back from anybody about, this week's assignment or something. Everybody kept going. We didn't lose anybody along the way, and I'm so proud of that.
Yeah, you're right.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I've got a question now for the rest of the panel. So stay, Kris. I'll keep you here for a little bit longer. But how has Kris and Isaya's leadership, seeing them stepping up to this next level, taking charge of this summit, kicking your butts lovingly, hopefully, but and also as well keeping you on task, keeping you on track. How has that inspired you in your leadership?
It's kind of felt like, you know, a Superman, Superwoman kind of, we're going, are you coming? Come on, we're going. Yeah, come on, we're going. It's just that vibe.
I love that.
Yeah.
You need some cage, Kris.
What impressed me the most was the loving and supportive way that you led, because I have to say the same question would be asked by 5 of us at different times, and the patience that you had with us, just the loving support. And I don't know what went on in your minds behind closed doors. I'm sure I can imagine, but as far as feeling supported and feeling you can do this no matter what, everybody airing their fears, their frustration, their I don't know how to do this, and you're both there saying, sure you can. And even if you were freaking out in the background, we didn't know it. So I think that what that shows me is that this positive support, there never has to be a top-down way, because we're creating this paradigm. And in this new paradigm, there's nothing but love and support for self and for others.
Oh,
That's so beautiful. That's what I felt too, because I've been navigating this summit with so much change in my world. I moved to an unexpected location and I lost a dog, and I'm navigating a few other things that I haven't even mentioned out loud yet. And doing that with the summit, at first I was like, there's no way. I can't do both. I can't be in every location at once. And I'm very punctual and I don't like procrastinating. And I actually had missed a deadline with the summit. And instead of it being met with criticism or being kicked out or being left on the side to paddle out of the rapids on my own, it was met with encouragement, and it was met with, it's okay. We're still here. We're holding the oar for you. We're going to paddle with you through this. We're going to get you through this. We're not leaving you behind. And that is so much what I needed right now. And I'm carrying that forward. And I know I'm going to be able to hold that paddle for someone else in the future as well.
No, you got me crying now.
I love that.
Lo created this beautiful meditation. I mean, you know, maybe 5 minutes, and sent it to each of us in our messenger group. And it was just the perfect little, that uplift, that encouragement, and she just knew exactly the buttons to push, you know, to light up all of our warm little centers, and at the same time encourage us, and, you know, just that slight push. And I think that's what's happened throughout the entire process, is just a series of like little pushes, you know, hand holding and a little push, and hand holding and a little push, you know, to tackle the tech, to tackle the imposter. I think each of us had a little imposter, and it's our story. These are our stories. This is our truth. But that little imposter kept, you know, would show up at the weirdest times. And just having divine planning as the base for, you know, like our starting point, our base camp, it was completely our base camp, you know, because we would go back to divine planning for whatever lessons. There's always something there to help us at each step. And
I was just listening to you, Kris, and you were going each little step. And I was thinking, almost like that law of increments.
Wow, imagine that. I guess I've heard that before.
I don't know, somewhere.
Just in case anyone is listening to this and has any doubts, if you're not in divine planning and bottom profits and you have a business, get in there now.
Or you want to have a business.
Get in there. This is not only the best online community ever, but also the content of the course is just like
it's right brain and left brain and structure and love.
If you have a spiritual business and you're thinking about going online, or you have a business and you want to grow, come with us, join us. And being the next summit.
Piece of that is
Yeah.
It's community, because in divine planning, actually how that helped me with my business is I had this one-time deal program. And then I thought, wait a minute, what I love about this community and divine planning is that once you're in, you're in. And we have live calls where here is Joanna speaking to us. And a lot of us have decided to have some kind of continuous program where people would be supported all the way through, knowing that who has taken a course, bought a course, didn't do it all the way, and then forgotten about it.
Yeah, and was left completely alone.
Yes, and you're
basically.
alone, and you beat yourself up for spending any kind of money on it. You feel like it's a waste.
It's really interesting because there's a comment by Ruby at this minute. She says, it has made me, so she's talking about the summit, I guess. It has made me want to step up fully now, and I'm actually going to follow through with DPAP all the way. So she's exactly enhancing what we're saying, which is you can come back to it when you're ready, because you're not left, like Lo was saying, you're not left on the banks of the river, and the rest of the group is going to have all the fun. So yeah, just some free promo, but you know.
And I'm so excited because we start a live round next week.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I would
Kris,
never
has that
hesitate to recommend
affected
it.
your leadership?
Me? Oh, well, I don't know where the bad cop was with Isaya, because I had a few tech issues along the way, and you were so beautiful about it. I could feel myself starting to, oh yeah, it was getting a bit annoying, because I originally did a 45-minute video, but I lost it. And then of course the second one I only had 20 minutes because I did it too fast, because the first one felt too long. But but all of these tools, you know, all of that, having to work my way through these things. I'm going to be doing summits with my books when I launch them. So there's a lot of
Cool.
there was a lot to this that has given me ideas moving forwards. Of course, I now know people that could help with that, who are probably about to do something really big to do with summits. But the way you led as well, the way all of you, and Joanna as well, the way you've all led, I guess it's made me, right from the start of launching the publishing house, take on board some of the ways that you all lead into my authors hub. And so I'm not, you know, pushy, or, you know, there may be some deadlines that people are not meeting, but I'm meeting them with kindness, and it's all coming together eventually anyway. So I think it's all had a big impact on me.
Amazing.
Do you want the cheat sheet on how to have people meet your deadlines?
Yeah,
I can tell you that's really, really easy. If you want them to do whatever by the 30th of the month, tell them you did by the 15th. That's what we did.
Oh, you guys are taking notes on this. This is good stuff.
You've just actually said the dates, because I've got a deadline for the chapter on the 15th, but the final deadline back from the editor is the 30th, which is my birthday.
Yeah, we treated all the deadlines so that we were very relaxed, because when Lo was late, it was like, I don't care, she's got another 2 months. She doesn't know that, but I do. So that's
the trust is gone.
why we could be cool, you know. Hey, I needed to have the deadlines being met so that I could come here in Greece and swim and not be editing the talk 2 days before the summit. So
I'm even more proud now. Kris and Isaya, literally queens of ease, joy, and flow.
Right. I love that. I love that. Okay, no one's going to have, the password on my phone is ease. And I tell my, yes, you all know. And I tell my kids that all the time, 3273 EASE. So I keep it with me and in my head at all times.
Awesome.
And I constantly use this gets to be easy.
Yes.
Especially if the tech is stressing me out.
Isn't that the hardest one to learn? Like, it's so hard to, here I come with my struggle. It's so hard to let go of the struggle and to let it be easy and to let it be fun. And And that's where the magic is, though. The
My,
magic is
my phrase has become now, my motto is, it's never about the tech. It's never
Yeah.
about I kept saying that. I feel like I've been saying that, you know, for 6 months to each and every one of you. It's never about the tech. Can we go back to a general attendees question and maybe answer that one? What would you want people listening to your talk and to the summit in general to take away from it? What would you dream that they would go away with?
You matter. You are here for a beautiful reason, and any struggle you've hit in your life has a purpose. And as long as you can find that purpose and boldly love it and give it a big hug and say thank you to it, you're going to show up and shine your light so much brighter and start to see that ripple effect in your world.
Thank you. I don't think I have anything to add to that one. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Lo. What else do we have? We had what advice do you have for women taking their first step in healing their story? How do you start?
Follow Joanna Hunter.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the first step, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the first step is literally what probably most of you ladies have got a copy of it sitting on your bookshelf, but get selfish.
Yeah.
That's the first step, right? Like you got to figure you out, and you've got to figure yourself out first and it's about giving yourself permission, right? Because here's the thing, Lo's right, you matter, but you're never going to matter until you say that you matter.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you're always going to be on the bottom rung of the priority list unless you put yourself higher.
Decide,
you know, so it is literally the fundamentals is the get selfish, is the take the first steps to learning to love yourself. And yeah, that's the first step. And I would say follow all these ladies too, because they got it going on too.
Yeah, pick your flavor.
Yeah, exactly. We got something for everybody here, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I've learned. You know, we all have a similar message, but we all have our own flavor. And I keep, and Joanna keeps saying that you're the person for somebody. Somebody's waiting for you.
You've even got the sprinkles on top behind you, Kris.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it sums up the general feeling that we have learned and that we hope that the attendees take out of the summit is that everyone is unique, everyone is important, and everyone can have an audience if they want it, if they desire it. So if you're going to grow a business, you are going to have people loving what you do, like we all do, and more, but only through being yourself and through putting yourself on top of the priority list. So
Yes,
and I think
own your story and get selfish.
Yes.
And
I think our stories.
Yes.
Go ahead. Okay. Believing that you do have a purpose in this life. There's a reason you're here. Thinking of all the details that go into conception and birth, and the odds are not in your favor, yet you're here. You're still here. You have 100% track record in life, and remind yourself of that and use that to build yourself up to show up in your day. And sometimes getting out of bed is an act of bravery, and that's okay. Acknowledge yourself for that and let those steps slowly climb and just follow your path and trust your journey.
And if you need a pep talk, go and listen to Lo's talk. It's so freaking uplifting. It's so cool. I'm so happy that we finished with you. Because
I was thinking that too.
When we planned the schedule, we didn't, I just basically, I put you in random order, all of you, and it stayed like this. I never actually thought the second time about it. But I'm so happy that, coincidence, synchronicity, serendipity, chance, whatever, put you at the final, as the final speaker, because it's, you know, it's one to listen again.
Well, thank you. And that was a story too. It was, oh, I'm last. Like that was how I saw it. I was like, oh, great, I'm last. That's what they think of me.
Do you want
And I was like,
do you want my
whoa,
story? Do you want my
no,
story?
that's what
And
I think of me. And now it really has evolved. And I started to beat myself up a little bit, like I mentioned here, because I'm not really in it. I'm not as vulnerable. It's not as me, but it's what I needed to say. And it's also what I needed to hear. And having that come at the end, it did feel like it just kind of wrapped everything up. Like you can do anything. Yes. And so
Absolutely.
it's so beautiful that it worked out that way. And now I'm like, thank goodness I was last.
So you can go with my story. I'm first. Nobody's going to listen to me. It's too early in the morning, and basically nobody, you know, it's a Friday morning. Nobody will care about me. I'll have less attendees than everyone else. So don't we all build the nice stories in our heads, right? Sorry, Becky, you were saying.
What was the question?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Find the question again. Something about.
It was something brilliant.
What advice do you have for women taking the first step in healing their story? How do you start? That was the original question.
Yeah. And then Joanna said something beautiful, didn't she? What were you responding to, Lo?
Get selfish was a big theme. How to start.
I think also as well, I think we were kind of intersecting because we were also answering the question of what would we like ladies to take away from this experience.
Yeah. I think we were all showing that we're all human and that there are some not so glamorous parts, and that often in social media we only see the highs and the super pretty polished bit and the look at me, I'm achieving. And for people starting out, that comparison, that it's when you're having a low and you're thinking everyone else is high, whereas all our talks have perhaps given people that idea that we can have the different flavors and that we are all human and we're doing the best we can with what we've got at that time. And I guess what I wanted people to take away was to have some kindness to themselves and perhaps just give themselves a hug every now and again and let themselves have a day off and just think, what can I do now? And get that support when you can. And when you feel creative, carry on with that. And when you need to just take some downtime, give yourself some love and step back a bit.
I love that. I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's been 90 minutes. So unless you ladies have something more to add.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I want to say. Thank you, Isaya and Kris, for organizing it, and thank you to everyone for showing up in the way that you have. It's next level. And I know that the ripple effect of this will be just exponential. You know, I often work to the power of one. If just one person's life has changed because of this experience, then it'll be worth it. And I know that there'll be a lot of ones out there that feel shifted and changed because of this experience.
Yeah.
Thank you all for saying yes.
Yes. Thank you to the attendees for saying yes as well, to us, but also to themselves, because taking the time to listen to all those stories and to get inspired is an awesome way to say yes to yourself and to evolve into light.
Yeah. Yay.
And thank you for this particular panel. Thank you very much for bearing with me. And well, you know, next news of the summit will be in the group. We'll tell you if something else happens. Thank you very, very much. This is so the final thing live of the summit. But again, the replays are available for free until next Sunday. So you can still get in there and register if you're not a registered attendee. And if and when you register, you will get access to the replays. All the talks will be uploaded very soon. And you will have access to the PDF, which will be sent in 10 days because I need some tech issues, obviously. And you will also have access to each and every one of the speakers' freebies. You can still enter a couple of giveaways, and there is an offer that every speaker has put together specifically for you for this summit. And I'm going to end this panel and this summit by saying thank you again to Joanna Hunter, and to not only to her as a person, but to Divine Planning and About Nonprofits as an entity, which has created this community and which has a life round beginning tomorrow or something like that, or very soon.
20th.
20th.
Yeah.
The 20th. And if you're not in there, come join us. Really, you know, it's like we have cookies. We really seriously have cookies. Thank you very, very much to each and every one of you, and see you around.
Go shine your light.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 So we are supposed to be not live on Facebook. Just a minute.
If you just close your
Okay, that's